Aquarius, week of May 20th through 26, 2026. Starspoken weekly reading. Aquarius. You have been following someone else's rules. And this week, that ends. The Emperor reversed has arrived in your reading, and I want you to understand immediately, this is not a card about weakness. This is not a card about failure. Reversed, the Emperor is not a fallen king. He is a freed one. The Emperor upright represents authority, hierarchy, structure, the rules that have been handed down, by institutions, by tradition, by the people who held power over you when you were younger and shaped the conditions of your life. He represents all the ways you've been told who to be, how to succeed, what counts as legitimate, what counts as enough. Reversed, he can no longer hold that position. And for Aquarius, the sign that was born to see beyond the conventions of its time, to question what others accept without examination, to be, fundamentally, ahead of where the world currently is, this is not a disruption. This is an alignment. The question the Emperor reversed is posing to you this week is not a gentle one. Whose authority have you been living under that was never actually yours? Whose definition of success, of rightness, of the correct way to do things, has been running in the background of your choices, quietly, consistently, shaping what you've allowed yourself to do and be, without your conscious permission? On May 20th, the Sun enters Gemini, lighting up your fifth house of creativity, self-expression, play, and the authentic joy that comes from being fully yourself. This is one of the most genuinely freeing transits of your year. For the next 30 days, the cosmic light is on your creative life, on the things you make, the ways you express who you actually are, the experiences you have when you're not performing a role but simply existing in your own particular, unconventional, uniquely Aquarian way. Mercury in Gemini in your fifth house gives you the words for things you previously could only feel. Creative ideas, playful language, the communication of your genuine perspective, all of these flow more easily this week. Jupiter in Cancer in your sixth house continues to expand your daily life, your health practices, and your work environment in subtle but genuine ways. Something about how you spend your ordinary days is becoming more aligned with what actually nourishes you. Pluto, still retrograde in Aquarius, continues its long excavation of your first house, of your identity, your self-concept, the very deepest question of who you are. Pluto retrograde here is the cosmos insisting that you not skip this step. Know yourself before you reshape the world. Love and relationships. The Emperor reversed in your love reading, Aquarius, is calling out a specific pattern, and once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. At some point, perhaps long ago, perhaps more recently, you accepted someone else's terms for what love should look like. What a relationship should involve. What level of closeness is appropriate, what level of independence is acceptable, what the right way to express care and receive care actually is. These terms may have come from a family model, a past relationship that shaped you significantly, or a broader cultural script about partnership that never quite fit your particular nature. The Emperor reversed this week is asking, which of those terms are actually yours? Which are imports, structures someone else built that you've been living inside without having chosen them? For those in relationships, this is a week for a genuine, non-defensive conversation about whether the structure of your partnership serves both people's actual needs, or whether it has been serving primarily the rules about what partnerships are supposed to look like. Aquarius needs freedom even within commitment. This week, speak that need directly rather than working around it. For those who are single, the Emperor reversed may be revealing why certain relationships have felt constraining before you could even articulate what was wrong. The structure was imposed, not chosen. This week, ask yourself, what would love that I actually designed look like? Your action step this week. Name one rule in your love life that you've been following that you never consciously agreed to. Then decide if you want to keep it. Money and career. Aquarius, the Emperor reversed in your career and financial life is one of the most professionally liberating cards you can receive, provided you're willing to do what it's asking. It's asking you to stop letting someone else's metric of success determine your professional choices. The conventional path, the one that looks right on paper, that follows the correct sequence, that earns the right kind of recognition from the right kind of people, this path may have been running your career decisions in ways you haven't fully acknowledged. The Emperor reversed says, make your own map. Mercury in your 5th house makes this an extraordinary week for creative professional work, for output that reflects your actual perspective rather than what's expected. If you've been tempering your most interesting ideas to make them more palatable to an audience that isn't actually yours, this is the week to stop. The specific financial message of the Emperor reversed. Stop underpricing yourself because you've absorbed someone else's assessment of your value. Your unconventional approach is not a liability. It is a premium product for the right client. Charge accordingly. Health and energy. Aquarius, the Emperor reversed carries a health message that is specific to your sign. Your body cannot be governed by external authority either. Aquarius has a tendency to approach health intellectually, to adopt systems, protocols, and frameworks developed by someone else and to apply them rigorously regardless of what the body is actually saying. The Emperor reversed is asking you this week to drop the framework long enough to listen to the body directly. Your body is its own expert on itself, and the information it gives you, if you're quiet enough to hear it, is more precise than any general protocol. This week, let your body tell you what it needs rather than telling your body what it's supposed to need. The Sun in your 5th house is genuinely activating, bringing energy, aliveness, a desire for pleasure and play. Honor this in your physical life. Movement that is joyful rather than disciplinary. Food that delights rather than performs wellness. Aquarius rules the circulatory system and the ankles, and the Emperor reversed, as a release of rigidity, may be felt in these areas as increased flow, increased flexibility, a sense of loosening. Let that be welcome. Personal growth. Aquarius, the Emperor reversed is specifically and precisely your card for this moment, and not just because you are a naturally anti-authoritarian sign. It's yours this week because you are in the middle of Pluto's long transit through your 1st house, a multi-year excavation of your identity, your sense of self, who you are when the layers of adaptation and social performance are removed. Pluto in Aquarius has been asking, beneath all the ways you've configured yourself to exist in the world, who is actually there? The Emperor reversed is the weekly echo of that question. It is asking you to identify one more place where you've been living someone else's idea of yourself rather than your own. The sun in your fifth house of authentic self-expression this week creates the perfect conditions for this kind of exploration. The fifth house is where you go when you're not trying to be anything, when you're playing, creating, expressing for the pure intrinsic pleasure of it. Find your way into the fifth house version of yourself this week. The version that isn't performing for approval. Just being. That version of you carries information that the more constructed versions don't have access to. Challenges and warnings. The primary challenge of the Emperor reversed for Aquarius is the temptation to rebel without direction. Releasing authority is not the same as having no structure. Questioning the rules is not the same as having no principles. Aquarius, when the Emperor reversed activates, can sometimes swing from compliance to pure disruption, burning down structure for the sake of burning it, or claiming freedom without knowing what to do with it. The Emperor reversed that serves you is one that releases external authority so that internal authority can emerge. The goal is not no emperor. The goal is your own emperor, your own principles, chosen consciously, governing your own life by your own terms. Watch also for the shadow expression of this card that Aquarius specifically can fall into, using detachment or ideological principle as a substitute for emotional presence. It is easier to restructure systems than to be vulnerable in a relationship. The Emperor reversed is not inviting you to think your way out of your life this week. It is inviting you to live more fully in it. With Pluto retrograde in your first house, old identity questions are surfacing. Be patient with the process. You are not behind on becoming yourself. Closing. Aquarius, the Emperor reversed has arrived in your reading this week as permission, the kind of permission that, if you're honest with yourself, you've been waiting for your whole life. Permission to stop following rules that were never designed for someone like you. You were built to question what others accept. To see what others aren't looking at yet. To be, in the deepest sense, a different kind of possibility. The conventional structure, the emperor's throne, the inherited authority, the given hierarchy, was not built for your particular kind of mind. Build your own structure. From your own principles. For your own life. Starting this week, in the fifth house of creative joy and authentic expression, where the sun is now shining its full light directly on who you are when you're not performing anyone else's idea of you. That person is extraordinary. Let them out. Your affirmation for this week: I govern my own life by my own principles. I release every authority that was not chosen, and I choose, consciously, who I follow now. This is your Starspoken reading for the week of May 20th through 26. If the Emperor reversed named something you've been quietly carrying, subscribe to Starspoken every week, your sign, your reading. Leave a comment. Whose definition of success have you been chasing that was never actually yours? This is the week to name it. Until next week, Aquarius. The throne you sit on should be yours.